Welcome to the Hawks Talk podcast. All things Blackburn Hawks.
In behind the defence, cuts around, scores! Blackburn Hawks win this game 8 goals to 5.
All the latest news, player interviews and much more.
Shoots, scores!
Hawks Talk.
Hello and welcome back for episode 15 of the Hawks Talk podcast. I'm Graham Hamilton, your host, as we talk about all things Blackburn Hawks. At this point of recording, we are sitting second in the Moral League Conference on 44 points, having played 31 games, won 22 and lost 9. And with a massive game coming up in the battle for second place away to the Solihull Barons this Sunday. You may have seen it on our social media. We still have some player jerseys still available for sponsorship. They've been reduced in price to £50. Check out the Hawks website to get yourself one. It's the perfect way to support your favourite player. If you didn't know, you can catch all the highlights from all our home games, player interviews and much more on our YouTube channel. Just search Hawks TV and make sure to subscribe. Also joining us again, I think we can call him a co-host now if we're being honest, the voice of the nest, Hawks announcer Aidan Wignall. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, thanks, mate. After a great 4-point weekend, we can't really complain, can we? You know, it's good to be back on the podcast as well. Now it's the voice of the internet.
The voice himself. So we're at the real business end of the season now, currently in second with one more game to go, away to the Solihull Barons. So what are you thinking? Can we clinch that second spot and face the Wild in the playoffs?
I think if we play like we did in the cup game against them, then, you know, we've every chance. On a day when we're at full strength as well, we've got we can beat anybody, I think. But, you know, the only difference is this time when we go back, they've got the netminder back in. I can't remember his name, it escapes me for some reason. And I think it was was Otterson playing that night as well? I don't know.
Yeah.
He had a couple of men down, so but you know, their netminder alone is a big plus side to the defence in any game they play.
They're a tough team to play against, and especially with second place being on the line, it just adds to the intensity that game has the potential to be, I guess.
Yeah, I think it'll be like any cup game. You know, there's a lot more on the line than just playing for points. It can shape up our whole playoffs sort of form as well. You know, if we win, we get Widnes, which a lot of people might look at as an easy ride. But depending who Widnes bring in, you know, they've got the guys up from Scotland. Will they come back down south of the border and play for them?
Yeah.
Will Rhys Edwards come back from Hull and play from them? So there's a lot of, I don't know what you call it, like abnormalities or something like that, where you don't know how Widnes are going to play it or who they're going to play.
Yeah. So
we'll have to wait and see. And then obviously Whitley are a tough team to beat no matter where they are, whether in the Nest or up in Hillheads. And I think Hull Jets have sort of like hit a bit of a speed bump as well at the minute. They've not been getting the results that they have been doing throughout the season.
Yeah, that's fair.
But on the day, I think anybody can. The good thing is anybody can beat anybody within that top 6 at least.
Looking on NIHL stats, shout out to him. There's only 3 teams that are confirmed in them positions. So Billingham obviously being the first, Deeside in 4th, and Widnes in 7th. So looking at it, we could either face Hull, Whitley, or the Wild. All 3 teams they're not bad sides. It's not an easy run-in, is it?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, Whitley seemed to have found some form, and I think they've got Tony Ham back on the bench now as well. So that'll be another boost for them. So it's, you know, I think I'd rather Hull or Widnes rather than Whitley.
I was just going to say, out of them 3 teams, who would you rather play?
Sorry, Widnes. I think if Widnes are like they are now, I'd rather play Widnes. No disrespect to them at the minute, but they're not having the best of times down there. You know, down the M62. Hull, like I say, Hull have dropped off a little bit as well. You know, it's yeah. Whitley and Hull will be the tougher test. I think Widnes probably be the slightly easier option to go through with.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I'd rather play Widnes. Whitley, like you said, Tony Hand seems to be back on the bench now, and they've bolstered quite heavily with some returning players. And Hull, they've had a good season. So, yeah, I think I'd go for Widnes as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, we hold it. I mean, it's their first season in our league as well. So it's trying to get them to gel together as a team, um, and get used to playing the likes of ourselves, D-side, Billingham, Solihull, all tough teams to play, especially in your first season. So it's going to be interesting when summertime comes around as to who's moving where or who's doing what.
I think with Hull, I think some of the things that people maybe don't realise is there's a lot of experience in that side, like Richard Hagger and people like that. So when they stepped up, I always thought they'd compete, but they've done better than I expected them to. And we've mentioned it on previous podcasts that Solway making that jump up, it's opened the league up completely. And I think with Billingham winning the league, us winning the cup, I think we can win the playoffs. But if another team was to win the playoffs, what an advert that is for our league as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what was it? Solway and Whitley in the final of the playoffs there. So this year the league has been a heck of a lot more closer than what it's ever been, and at least we're not waving at Solway winning league at Christmas time like we have been for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's true. Right, let's get into this episode's interview.
Hawks Talk.
Joining us on Hawks Talk, we have Blackburn Hawks D-man Calum Ruddick. Cal, good to have you on. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you, gents?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you.
Not doing too bad.
We're also joined by our co-host now, Aidan Wignall, the voice of the Hawks.
Yes, good evening. It's getting better.
What, the voice or the podcast?
Yeah, both, mate. Both. I think, it's getting rid of that chest infection, sorting my voice back out.
Yeah, definitely. So to kick things off then, as always, this weekend just gone, we faced the Sheffield Scimitars away on Saturday. How was that game for you, Callum?
Yeah, I think we got the result we needed in the end. Playing at Sheffield, everyone knows it's pretty flat, and we had that early face-off time. But yeah, we got the job done. Stuck to the job we had to do, and yeah, come out with 2 points at the end of the day. So
Then the following night, it was the movie theme night and our final home game of the regular season. We faced the Nottingham Lions. First of all, what did you think of those jerseys?
oh, they're sick. Loved them. Yeah, the sleeves were a bit big, but once the boys stopped moaning about that, yeah, they look good. They look really good.
Can neither confirm nor deny me and Aidan have got one.
No, not at all.
Secondly, tell us your thoughts on the game. How was it for you?
Again, we just went about what we had to do. I think first maybe 5-10 minutes, Nottingham trapped us in a bit, and then that stopped all of a sudden for whatever reason. And then, yeah, the boys put the puck in the net. Again, 4-point weekend, which I think since January we've had a fair few. So, yeah, we're in a good position rolling into the last weekend of the season.
Do you think going into this season, this weekend, do you think it's what the fans expected, given that, where Sheffield's current position is, and also Nottingham's? Do you think it was more expected of you guys, the players, to get them 4 points?
If you go off the table, then yeah, probably. But I think if you have a night off in this league, Nottingham, Sheffield, every team can punish you. So you just got to stick to the task at hand and play how we can play. And I think the results speak for themselves this weekend.
Yeah. It was quite noted that Nottingham had a certain number 23 missing as well. Did that make your night more enjoyable? Or?
Yeah, I missed him. Good guy.
You have lots of cuddles with him, don't you?
Yeah, don't really get on with him, surprisingly. But yeah, apparently he's got a 6-game ban. Ironic.
Wow, really?
Yeah, apparently so.
So let's go back to the beginning then with this next one. Tell us how young Callum, you probably still had that moustache back then. How did you start playing hockey?
I went and watched Manchester Storm. It was then 9X. Terrible at football. So, yeah. And then I had to ask my mum a few times to take me skating. And then from there at the old Alty. Yeah, just from there, fell in love with it. And that was that.
Have you always played as a D throughout your career?
Yeah. Apart from when Oz has maybe played forward a few times this season. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a D man.
Who were the first team that you played for? Where did you start your career? Really?
So Altrincham under 10s. I played there till the old Altrincham shut. So I think it was under 10s, 12s, and 14s. at Old Altrincham, Devonshire Road. And then I had 2 or 3 years at Bradford, where Bobby's dad was my manager, Andy Streetley. And then I went over to Flintshire / D-side, whatever you want to call it. I think 3 or 4 years there, and then I just played roller after that for a bit. So yeah, been around a bit.
Oh, nice one. What made you come to Blackburn? What brought you? Obviously, you've had a couple of stints here now. So what were your first sort of brought you over there?
So before the COVID Cup, I wasn't playing because of my job. I was working nights, and the way my shifts were, I wouldn't be able to train and play every game. So I stepped away from hockey for I think 4 years. Obviously, hockey don't pay the bills, and you've sometimes got to make a few sacrifices here and there, and that was that. And it was a night out with Pollitt after lockdown. Yeah, so I blamed Pollitt for making me come back, and then obviously I had the COVID Cup, and then I had that one season, and then I went back to Widnes. I changed my job to somewhere in St Helens. So logistically, it didn't make sense to travel from Blackburn, to Blackburn for training when Widnes is 10, 15 minutes down the road. So, yeah, but we left it on good terms, and it wasn't a case of wanting to leave. It just didn't make sense to do all the travelling when Widnes was close. And then, I think everyone knows what happened with Widnes and me this year. So, I mean, I'm back.
That brings us nicely, actually, to pass it right on. You know, there's no secret now that you were sort of let go via text message. I mean, how did you feel when that landed in your inbox?
Yeah, I put it on Facebook. I thought it was Domino's texting me 2 for 1, to be fair. But it turns out it wasn't, and it's not a nice way to get rid of someone. It's not something I do myself.
Yeah.
But Joe is, he's pretty new to coaching, and hopefully he's learned from it and don't do it to other people. It's not a nice text to get. I was let go the same time as Jack. We both went and got our kits from the rink that night, and that was that. Yeah. So it's been nice playing against him and getting, I think, 4 wins now against him.
A few goals, couple of shutouts, so pretty good.
This season's worked out all right. We've got 2 cups so far, and playoffs coming up. So, yeah.
And that was something else. Obviously, like, you came back to the arena after moving away, and me and you had spoke quite a bit last year when you were playing for Widnes, and you said a few unsavoury things happened with the Blackburn fans from there.
Yeah, I got a bit of stick when I come back.
You got a bit of verbals that way. So, I mean, what made you come back to Blackburn? Is that like speaking to Carl and Gratz and Dom and Ollie, or the chat with Lee Pollitt?
I'd always had a good relationship with Dom. I'd agreed to come back the first season he took over, and then obviously I changed my job and stuff like that. And we kept, speaking at games and stuff like that. So I don't think the door was ever officially shut as such. And obviously when all this happened with Widnes, I went down to Div 2 to play a couple of games with Aces. I think I played 4 or 5 games there, and I think there was a couple of injuries at Blackburn, so obviously the relationship between Aces and Hawks came into play a bit. So I played the game up in, I think it was Edinburgh.
I think that was your first game back, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then it moved pretty quick after that. A couple of weeks later, Dom rang me and basically said, look, there's a spot. It wasn't that quick of a conversation. It was more in depth than that. But I think you both know me well enough that I'd jump at the chance to come back to Blackburn. It's a good club to be part of. There's good people around, and I think the players get treated really well by everyone. And once they got in the room, it's a good room to be in. There's a good set of boys this year.
Yeah. I mean, when you did come as well, obviously, I don't know whether it was yourself, Graham, that spoke to Dom, and he mentioned that he liked how you skated and stuff, but needing to work on your fitness. How did you feel about that?
Nothing new, is it?
Hey, I can't say it, man. I can barely run 5 yards myself.
No, do you know what? I knew that, and I've took it on board. I've been working hard. Yeah, I've dropped a bit of weight, but we've still got a bit to go with that. But I think playing wise, I think week on week it's improving and more comfortable. When I first come back in, it was a bit obviously different systems and stuff to what we're doing at Widnes and then Alty, and then obviously getting used to systems and yeah. So I knew I had to get fitter, and hopefully people can see that I have been putting a bit of graft in.
Yeah, definitely.
Just going back to the Aces for a second, obviously that's in Div 2, we're in Div 1. How would you compare the difference in terms of standard between those leagues, having played in both this season?
It's pretty big, to be fair. There's a lot more systems in Div 1, and whereas Div 2, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and say it was where I wanted to be, because it wasn't. But yeah, it was fine with Aces. Again, it's a good room, and I've known Elliot since I was a kid, so it was a quick message on Facebook, and then I think that was on the Wednesday, and I played on the Saturday. But the differences in leagues, there's a fair bit of difference. And if you're used to playing Div 1 and watching Div 1, then you go and see Div 2, it is a bit of a step down. But that's no disrespect to the lads in that league and the teams. Telford are a good team. Sutton are a good team. I played against Telford in pre-season with Widnes, and yeah, they're a good team. Scott McKenzie coaches them. So
yeah, great player.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Well, we had him at Widnes, and he ain't going to coach a terrible team. They're going to be able to play hockey, which certainly Telford and Sutton can. And then after that, I think I only played against Hull and Sheffield, so I didn't play many games down there. But like I say, Telford and Sutton, they can play hockey.
When you say that, I mean, when we were looking at after we won the M56 Cup, there's a few people talking on Facebook about maybe allowing sort of like a couple more Northwest teams to join in. How would you feel about that? So when looking at like Alty and them type.
From a personal point, yeah, I absolutely. Like, I don't see why not, but I think there could be a few big scores potentially. But till you try it, I don't know, I guess. Like,
I think that's a fair comment. I don't think you're wrong there.
Yeah, I don't want to seem too disrespectful to the lads down in that league. But especially the way we're playing at the minute, I think it could be a pretty high scoring game.
I don't know if you two remember, but I think it was back 2015. We had like a Challenge Cup, which was a couple of teams from our division and then the then EPL.
Yeah,
and there were some quite big scores and big differences in scoreline. So I think your comment's fair and valid. To be fair, I agree with you.
Yeah, I think Hawks didn't they beat Peterborough?
Yeah,
down in Peterborough potentially. Yeah, it was when I was at Widnes in Div 2. So, but yeah, like them crossover things, that there's good and bad to them, I guess. Like, you don't want to see a Div 2 side getting absolutely hammered, and I don't think a D1 team would take much out of it either. You're going to get that balance.
Yeah, definitely.
Quite demoralising as well. I think if you're on the back end of an absolute whooping, it's
Yeah,
like you say, you don't really learn much from it, do you? It's on both sides,
and it's no fun for either team. And at the end of the day, that's what it is for everyone. It's a bit of fun. It don't pay your mortgage, and if you're not having fun with it, then there's not much point, is there?
No, not at all. Not at all. Right, we're going to ask, like, what? Obviously, I think I know the answer to this one already, but what's been your favourite games playing this year?
Yeah, I'd say the Billingham ones have been the best, especially that home one. It was great. It was absolutely great. Yeah,
we were bouncing, weren't it?
Yeah, it was sick. Like, I don't think anyone had that score wrote down either before.
Huh.
But yeah, like that was something good to play in front of, and yeah, the boys took care of business. Barnsley was unreal that weekend. I think he scored 6 and Billingham scored 6 across the full weekend. So yeah, that, and then obviously followed up by the M56 Cup, winning that against them. What was it, 9-0? Yeah.
That one a little bit more special.
For me, I think so, yeah. But the Billingham Cup weekend was unbelievable, and I think because I'm a bit older, I appreciate it a bit more as well. Like, I think Dom and Ollie have said in the room before and after it, these things don't come round very often.
Yeah.
And we've got likes of JC that's 16, 17, and I'm 33 now, and they don't come round often. So you do, you appreciate that bit more when you're older. And the bus back from Billingham was great. So all the boys have good memories of that. And playoffs coming up, hopefully we get to the big dance at Sheffield, and there's going to be some good hockey played that weekend there. But I'd like to add to our 2 cups already and get a third one. It'd be nice.
It'd be nice to have a triple of silverware, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Real nice.
3 lots.
Now, we mentioned it earlier, it's your second spell with the club. What would you say has been the biggest difference at the club then versus now?
I'd say how much more professional it's got. Obviously, we've got the new room as well, which is easily the best in the country for Div 1 anyway. I'd put it against a lot of national teams and some elite. Obviously, Dom's been there, done it at different leagues and everything, so his coaching and his little pointers he gives you, it makes hockey pretty easy. And obviously we've got a good squad as well, so it makes games easier when you're playing with the players we are doing. But yeah, it was in a good place originally, but it was a bit of an up and down season. I think for obviously myself getting that big bang with Olin Cairns, but as well, obviously Mike Clancy leaving early doors and all stepping up. It was, a bit of an up and down season, I think is the best way of saying it. And I think that was Carl and Gratz's first year as owners. So from my point, it's just continuing to grow, and it is a good place to play hockey.
Now, you mentioned it there about the ban. We've recently seen Davids get a 6-game ban, and you had a pretty big ban.
Yeah, good day.
The first spell you were with the club. How did that affect you? What was it like going through that?
It wasn't nice. The whole process was pretty bad. We didn't get told. We knew something was coming, but we didn't think it'd be that. And then Friday night, we just got social media, same as everyone else, saying 2.5-year ban. So, yeah, I mean, the early dops are as bad as now, so at least they're not throwing out 2.5-year bans anymore. There's been some tasty ones, but yeah, so we had the appeal process and we had to sit the rest of the season. I think what's that been, about 18 games or something.
Yeah.
It's still questionable now if you look back at it, but it is what it is, and you move on from it, I guess.
I mean, do you think some of the penalties that are being handed out, like by this DOP system, do you think? I mean, obviously each one's taken on its own merit, but do you think some of the ones are fair, or do you think they're a bit overzealous? Or
some of them are very questionable, very, very questionable. I think Giseko from Hull getting, what was it? You get 20 games.
20 games, yeah.
Yeah, I played with Giseko last year at Widnes, and he's not that type of kid to go to injure. I think it's the first hit I've ever seen him throw, to be fair, but it's never a 20-game ban. It's not.
It's just been reduced actually to 6, I think. They're just on appeal.
Which in the current climate is probably about right. And you have to look at the current climate for Davids as well. And I'd say that's probably where it is. Whether I think that's right or not, that's another thing. But if you look at, I think tariffs 1, 2, 3, whatever they are, whatever they want to call it, I'd say Davids was probably about right for what it was. But hockey's changing, and I wouldn't want to be a ref or DOPS or anything like that. But I think if we can get a couple of ex-players involved or refs that no longer ref that have been there and done it to pass on their expertise and knowledge, and just apply a bit of common sense. Like, you don't want to see kids or anyone sitting out 20-game bans. Just get them on the ice and play. Yeah.
Majority of the season, isn't it, really? I mean, you only have to do it just after Christmas, and then that's it. You're done till September.
Yeah, and I think the other side of it, what people don't really see, fans especially, no disrespect meant here, for a lot of lads, hockey's like a release, from every day.
Yeah.
So they don't look at the mental health side of stuff. And personally, when I couldn't play, my mental health took a massive dip. Like it's not nice, you know. That's your release, and that's your time with your lads and your mates, and mine took a bit of a knock. I'll admit that. So before they throw these big bands out, they want to, you know, have they got any support in place for these lads? I don't think they have. And you know, people are easy to spout about, you know, mental health and all this, but tough hockey players, they all need help at the end of the day. Like, even if it's a quick check-in, you're okay, you know you can't play. And the club were great with me, Kearney and all, but there wasn't much from the league. There was nothing from the league. And yeah, I think that could be looked at as well.
I know myself with my own mental health, and I've had many conversations with Aidan about it. My release is going to watch hockey or watching hockey on the TV. So I kind of understand where you're coming from. If I wasn't allowed to watch it or whatever, it'd definitely affect me massively.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's my release from reality, and you know, whether it's training and games at the weekend or whatever, that's my time. And you know, yeah, like it's good for your mental health. It's good for everything. Okay,
Getting a bit of stress out.
Yeah, get a bit of stress out, and yeah.
I said that last week to Mrs. I think it was like one of the first training sessions in a long while I've actually sat and watched. And I come home, I'm like, you know, I've missed actually just sitting there having a bit of banter with you guys when you're coming over to boards and stuff, and you know, just watching you guys train as well. It's, you know, in yourself, it just makes you feel good when you walk out. Plus, like when you're stuck in the box doing the DJing and that announcing, you miss half at games. You've got your head in your laptop lining up the next songs or whatever else. So it's, you know, it is nice just to sit there and watch you guys do what you do.
Yeah, it's good.
So just going back to the Hawks, with the current roster that we've got, do you think if we can keep the majority of it going into next season, it's good enough to take on the Stars for the league title next year?
I think teams chop and change through the summer. I don't think it's very often teams stay every man the same. But I think if Hawks can keep majority of this squad together and maybe add a couple of pieces or, you know, guys moving on, stuff like that, I don't see why not. You look at what Billingham done a couple of years back. They weren't picking the points up and they weren't at the top of the table, but they've kept that core together for 3, 4, 5 years now. And, you know, congratulations to them winning the league. That's what you get when you keep good hockey players together. I don't see why we couldn't challenge next season. We're not a million miles away now. I think is it 4 points in it at the minute? So we're not a million miles away. But chopping and changing your complete team every year, it's not ideal for anyone. But yeah, if majority of this team stays around, I think there'll be more good times coming to Blackburn. Yeah.
I think with Billingham, I think it was during COVID. I think they kind of just brought up a lot of the junior players that could play, that were eligible to play at the adult level. And I think and they've kept that core together and they've just gone from strength to strength, haven't they?
Yeah, that kid that's gone to Leeds, is it Braden? Finn Braden, is it? Like, he was class last year in our league, and
yeah, definitely.
Spraggan's on a two-way with him this year. Yeah, let's not take nothing away. They're a good hockey team, Billingham.
Yeah, 100%.
Got a good netminder. They have a good netminder as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it Tom Brown? He's good.
Tom Brown. That league game, the day where we lost 2-1, the guy stood on his head, didn't he? You know,
I think behind any good team, you've got to have good goalies. Like, you really do. And I think we've got 2 very good goalies. I really do think we've got 2 good goalies. I didn't realise how good Keds was till I come in, obviously playing against him last year. But yeah, we've got 2 good goalies, and obviously Ollie T as well. It helps. It helps having 2 good goalies.
So we can keep hold of them and they don't move on over, you know. So I hope 5 comes in for Keds.
Yeah, he's Scottish imports, eh?
That's it. Well, Scottish imports. We got it to say about them.
No, if they train, it'll be fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is. We can all have a laugh and joke about it now, but at the time, I wasn't happy with stuff. And
you weren't a happy bunny, were you?
No, I think I spoke to you like start of this year, and
It was, yeah.
Come up with Widnes, and yeah, maybe I'm a bit old school, but if you don't train, you shouldn't be playing unless you've got a valid reason. And yeah, it is what it is. We've all moved on, and best of luck to them if that's how they want to run their business.
Definitely. I mean, looking at how we've been playing, we've seen a big movement. We are, especially our second line, with the way that James, Adam, and Rids all played together. I mean, how does that feel when you're playing with them on the ice and just seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to play against them because that 5-0 at Widnes start of the year, that was a long night. Very long night. But yeah, it's a good line. I'd probably say it's up there, if not the best forward line in the league. But we've got 3 solid forward lines, to be fair.
Yeah.
That all can do the job, and obviously Thax got 2 this weekend, and Aaron still puts the numbers up at, what is he now, 45, 46? So he's still got a bit of life in them legs yet. So it's not just one line doing the damage, it's a collective effort, which again, that helps having 3 lines that can put the puck in the net.
You can see that, like when you're giving the numbers in the game, and different scorers are coming in. You're not just having like Adam Barnes all the time, just to use a name. There are so many different scorers coming in. So I don't have the stats on any of the goal scorers at the minute, but it is good to see.
I think the lines work really well between themselves. Like, obviously, you've got Pollitt, Jakey, and JC. That's a solid line, and like you say, you've got Rids, Royds, and Barnes, which they just score for fun when they want. But then you've got the likes of DJ, Aaron, Thax, Watson as well. Watson's solid at the minute. He's putting numbers up as well. So yeah,
he's getting a few goals, isn't he, at the minute?
Yeah, that's Luke.
He's found his role on that third line, I think. I think that's what it is. I think he just needed to find where he fitted into our roster.
Yeah, I think same for everyone. Once you know where you fit in on a team, you get the best out of that guy. And I think Domino and the other coaches have done a good job at finding everyone's role in the team. And I think since January, it's been a pretty good run. I think we've lost, is it 3 since then? I think D-side 4 we've lost since January, I think it is. So yeah, it's clicking.
I think one thing we've improved on, and you've pretty much said it there, both of you, is from your last spell to your current one, we lacked secondary scoring. You'll know in that first season you were here, we relied on Jacob massively. So I think arguably we've got the best top 6 in the league in terms of forwards, 100%.
Yeah, I'd back our boys against anyone else. I wouldn't swap any of them, I don't think. Maybe Rids. Maybe get rid of Rids. He's been solid this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like you say, I'd back our top 6 against anyone else in the league.
I would say, I think with Rids, when you saw his face after that 5th one went in at Widnes, I don't even think he could believe it himself.
Yeah, I remember
he scored
that,
5 goals and he just had that look of pure shock on his face.
Yeah.
It's...
Maybe it's playing against Widnes brings out the best out of speed.
What would you consider to be your best attribute as a player, and what would you say is your biggest weakness?
Definitely not my speed, is it? I'm not the fastest. I don't know. I know what my role is, and it's not to be scoring that many goals. I'm not been brought in for that team guy, and I feel I'm pretty good in the room and just take care of business in our own end and try and not concede. And obviously, like we've already said on this, like, it's common knowledge. Everyone knows I'm a big lad, and if I could change something overnight, it'd be my fitness. But stuff like that don't happen overnight. But I feel I'm going in the right direction with that. So summer coming up, who knows what happens in the summer. But yeah, I'll be working hard either way.
We had Dom on a couple of weeks ago, and like when I've been in the change room, especially before you guys get there, I like talk to Darren and whatnot. They're on about coaching and whatnot. Is that something that we could possibly see you doing once you've hung your skates up, or?
Possibly, yeah. Possibly. It depends on family life and your work and everything else like that. It's a big commitment. But I'm not ready to say bye to hockey just yet. I'm not ready. But yeah, maybe in the future. Yeah.
So we'll still see you skating at Orange H.
I don't know about that. He must be on some magic pills, him or something. Like
some good stuff, strong stuff.
Yeah.
Made out of metal, I think.
That's his Zimmer frame, that.
A fair few hockey players have a sort of a superstition or a reason for their jersey number. You were 19. Is there any reason for that?
First number I got at Alty, to be fair. And I've just tried to stick with it as much as I can. There's nothing else behind it. Got it when I was young, and that was that. If I don't get 19, I'll swap it for 91. But yeah, apart from that, no big reason.
Fair enough. So next up then, as always, we open up the floor to some questions that have been sent in by Hawks fans and hockey fans alike. This first one is from Paulie Mayo. You might know who he is. If you could pick anyone to join the Hawks, who would it be and why? And secondly, what's it like playing with his son?
I've got to pay for Ethan's back to be repaired in the summer for carrying me, to be honest. No, do you know what? He's a good player, so it helps, and I think we've clicked pretty well. We complement each other, I think, and yeah, it's worked. If I could bring anyone in from the league, I'd say Hags. I'd bring Hags in. He's some player, like he is. He won't get 19 though. I had to take 91 at Widnes, so he'd have to take 91. But yeah, I'd probably bring in Hags. Yeah, he's a good player and a good mate. So yeah, Hags.
It's a good shout. And I think you and Ethan do complement each other. I think you kind of know your role and stay on the blue, and it gives him the freedom to push up a bit.
Yeah.
And play that two-way role he likes.
Yeah, it's worked pretty well so far this year, so I'm enjoying it.
The next question, this is from Ben McLaughlin. He asks, what is your favourite NHL team and why?
Rangers. I love New York.
Oh, no.
So
you're doing it wrong.
But I'm not a massive fan, Like, I'll watch highlights, but I can't sit and watch full NHL games. I'm not. I don't know. I don't think I've got the time, to be fair, and it's on at daft o'clock, innit? So I'll watch the highlights every
It's quite
now
a
and again.
common thing, isn't it? A lot of players don't watch a lot of hockey.
Yeah, I think when you play as much as we do, like we've had double-headed weekends every weekend since I've come in, basically. So I think this Saturday's our first one off. So I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think it's important to get that balance and that time away. And yeah, I don't watch a hell of a lot of NHL, to be perfectly honest, but Rangers.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
It's a swear word to you this weekend, isn't it? After we, what was it, 7-3?
Rather not talk about it.
Beat the Penguins.
I'll just waddle off like a penguin.
That was your second and third period performance.
It was. Listen, sometimes you got to take your hat off. I'm not wearing one, but sometimes you got to take it off and say you were the better side. Oh, that hurt that. This next question is from one of your teammates. You can answer it and then you can guess who the question was by. Who is the best igloo builders on the team?
My mate Lee Pollitt. Seriously. So one year we were working at like the outdoor ice rink in Manchester, and it was proper bad snow, and obviously we had snow from the rink and everything. So yeah, we built an igloo. It was class, honestly. It was class. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good laugh, that.
So I'm guessing you know who that question was by, though.
Yeah, big Lee Pollitt.
And the final one then from the fans. This one is from Lauren Gornell, my missus, in brackets. She asks if you could pick any theme night for the Hawks to have, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know, Maybe do a mental health night. We touched on it earlier tonight. I think it's one a lot of people get behind. yeah, it's one that a lot of people would get behind. I believe that, and it'd be a good one to do. Bit of good publicity, and it's something that's not spoke about enough. So yeah, probably do a mental health night, and whether it be Andy's Man Club or whatever, get them on board, and spread the word, lads. It's all right. So say you ain't feeling okay, and no one thinks less of you.
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah, I'd agree.
They don't. You'd rather hear your mate's problems at the end of the day. So yeah, it's pretty close to my heart, mental health, and yeah, I'd say mental health. Let's go with that.
Yeah, a bit of a shameless plug on that one. They've actually got the Rob Moore. Is it Rob Craig Memorial?
Yeah, Rob Craig. I'm playing in
that's
that.
coming up in May. I'm actually DJing and announcing on that night as well. Put myself forward to volunteer. So they have like quite a lot of the, I think it is in running association with Andy's Man Club. So they have various things down there to help people out. But maybe we could speak to Graham and Carl and tie it in with one of the ones for next year.
Yeah, we could do something for it. Well, this weekend we should have done St. Patrick's Day shirts. Like, it was literally Paddy's Day, wasn't it? So
yeah, we said same. We said same on that one.
But I think this weekend's shirts were class. So fair play.
In fact, which that can lead us on to which has been your favourite shirt that you've seen of ours or that you've possibly worn?
The Armed Forces one this year. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice. And for this season's playing kit, I think the warm-up shirt, the white and teal one, I think that's pretty smart as well.
Yeah. Well, just to let you know, we're now the proud owners of your white warm-up shirt.
You got it?
Yeah, mate. We managed to get it this week. So we are the proud owners of your warm-up shirt.
I'll make sure you get that.
Extra sweat.
Get you sick. Hey, what
Extra
size is
sweat.
it?
Large male, big man.
I'll have to lose a few pounds to fit in that then. Obviously, being the DJ down there, I've got to ask what's on Calum's playlist.
I've been texting Rids today, right, about music. I don't think it's stuff we can play, though.
If it's Rids, I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, there's a few of us that are into our rap, mainly me, Paul, and Rids.
Paul is Pop Smoke, innit, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Pop Smoke. Yeah, I'm into my rap, so yeah, there's a fair bit of rap on at the minute. Yeah, it's pretty mixed though. Some of it's a bit of country in there as well, but yeah, mainly rap. So yeah, we got asked if there was any songs we wanted, and me and Rids had a little chat about what we wanted and what we can't have.
I came across one called Little Baby or something at weekend. Somebody asked me to
Little
play
Baby.
it, and I checked out all the lyrics. I'm like, man, I cannot play this at a
You
family
can't play
dinner.
that. You absolutely cannot be playing that.
I have just found I did find a clean version on YouTube that I could download, so it doesn't have the F's and Jeffs and F and N's in it or whatever. So
is it an instrumental?
I'll send a few over for you. I'll set you a task for playoffs, whoever we may play. Find some clean versions.
Well, I'm gonna do a fans request. So next week I'm gonna put a fans request in. So like this week where they all got the I let them all choose just songs from movies and stuff. So I'm going to do the same next weekend and just let the fans choose a playlist throughout the night.
I'm going to send a few in, don't worry.
Yeah, that'll be sound.
Do you have one song then that you like your pre-game song? Do you have like one song that gets you going?
Let me have a look. 1 minute. Let me see my playlists.
I know Polly likes Red
Yeah,
Theory.
Paul's DJ this year, so...
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He took over pretty quick as soon as he come back. I'm not sure who was before him.
Probably Graham.
There's some questionable ones from Gratz when you get there on a Thursday. Some very questionable stuff. What do I like? It's going to be rap. It's got to be rap. I'll tell you what we do like. We don't mind a bit of Scooter before we come out.
Scooter.
Yeah, a bit of Scooter.
Which one, though? Are you like talking Messiah or right back to the 90s where
the Logic song?
Like I'm raving, the Logical song.
Logical song, yeah. Gets the boys going.
I'll add that to them for next weekend. Next Saturday, It's getting played.
Yeah, you'll be sick of me. I'm going to keep sending you endless songs to find the clean
My inbox is always open to you guys. I've been asking for 3 years and nobody's actually given me a definitive list. So you've just had what I've chose.
You might regret this.
Going on about your rap, is it like, do you like the old school stuff as well? I mean, one of my eldest lads into all that type of stuff, and I'm like, I tried introducing him to NWA and Public Enemy and Tupac and all that. So I don't like this.
Do you know what? It's a bit of everything. Like, I don't like loads of new music. I don't think it's as good as what it was. But yeah, old stuff, and I'd say like 2000s and 2010. Yeah, that's me. I'm pretty happy with that, and a bit of trap as well. Yeah, gets me going.
Nice. So to round things up, then we've got a trip down the M6 to Solihull to face the Barons. Second place is at stake. What are you expecting from that game?
I think it'd be a good game. I think it'd be a very good game. They're a good hockey team again. Solihull. They've had pretty much the same team for a number of years now, and everyone knows Otterson and Mulcahy's, and it's not the easiest place to go. It's not the nicest place to go either, with the netting and the benches where you've got to jump and everything. But it's in our hands at the end of the day, and we're not relying on other teams. It'd have been nice if Billingham could have got the win on, Sunday they played.
Yeah.
But it's in our hands, and we'll go down and do what we do at the end of the day, I guess, and hopefully we come back second place and we get my good friends up at Widnes in playoffs.
I was just going to say, if they happen right now and we finished in second, we would play the Widnes Wild. What are your thoughts on that potential fixture?
It's less travel in it for the boys, so I'm happy with that. As if not, it's Whitley, or it could be Hull as well, I think, as it stands, So I've already been to Whitley 3 times this year. I don't fancy going 4 times in one season. But no, do you know what? Whoever we get is who we get, and you play what's in front of you. But them 3 teams, they're not bad hockey teams, any of them. Like, we've had Widnes' number, but Widnes have also beat Hawks this year. So it's, playoffs is completely different to league games as well. I think you'd expect Billingham to get through against Nottingham, and then I think after that, anyone can beat anyone over 2 legs. So next weekend should be interesting hockey all around, to be fair.
I might be wrong here, and I'm sure you'll definitely correct me, but have you scored yet?
No.
So, is the script's made for next weekend?
Yeah. I've tried. I've not been brought in for scoring. I think we all know that. So it'd be nice to have a few by now.
I recall you scored a hat-trick against us last year.
No, I only got 2. Ked saved a penalty shot, didn't he? So
did he get got stuck off it? Well, like I said, I do recall you scoring against us last year. So it's up there, big man.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it happens.
You do have a good clap bomb from the blue line, to be fair.
A lot of weight behind it, isn't there? I think that's what it is. But yeah, if I don't score and we win, I couldn't care less. Like, let's just keep winning.
Definitely. I think Solway making that jump up, we've mentioned it a few times on the podcast, it's really opened up the league, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. I think it was hard playing against Solway because you sort of went into games knowing you were already beat, I guess.
Yeah, it's more like knowing how many you're going to concede, or instead of knowing if you're going to win. Yeah,
exactly. But like I say, it's opened the league up, and it's been a good season. No one's really walked away with it. Billingham are only 4 points ahead at the minute, and they've dropped games. Like I've said earlier, every team can beat every team in this league, and I think that's been proved. So it's a competitive league, which is what the players and the fans want. And Solway, they're doing well in National League, so fair play to them.
I think they're just off the playoffs at the minute. I think they have a chance to go in this weekend, I think.
Yeah, which you sort of expect, and I think if you'd have said that to them at the start of the year, they're still in with a shot now, I think they'd have potentially took that. But you look at...
It took a while to find their feet, didn't they?
But you look at when Leeds were formed and Bristol. Yeah, they're doing all right, Solway, to be fair. Like Leeds in the first season weren't the best, and now look where they are now. And Bristol struggled last year, and I think they're struggling again this year. So they've been competitive in that league. So fair play to them.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast, Callum.
Cheers. Thank you for having me.
And best of luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers, guys.
Go.
Hawks Talk.
Another fantastic interview there. Thank you again, guys, for coming on the podcast. We mentioned it earlier on. We've still got some player jerseys still available for sponsorship, and they've been reduced in price down to £50. The perfect opportunity to get one. They're available now on the website. And that is us all out of time on this episode of the Hawks Talk podcast. Don't forget, subscribe to us on whichever platform you're listening to us on. It really does help. We want to get you, the Hawks fans, involved as much as possible with the podcast. So if there's any players you'd like us to have on, any questions you want us to ask, just send me an email, hawkstalk@blackburnhawks.com. So until next time, see you later.
Hawks Talk.